So the area of this patio in the backyard is a rectangle, and we have the width, which is 2x minus 1 yards, and the length is 3x plus 4 yards. The first part, we want to find the formula for the area of this patio and then put it in standard format. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and just recall that the area formula for a rectangle is length times width. So we can go ahead and do the 2x minus 1 and times it by 3x plus 4. If we go ahead and do all of this, we are definitely used to doing these calculations, and that's going to give us a total area. It's going to be 6x squared plus 8x minus 3x minus 4. So the final area formula for this is going to be area equals in standard format 6x squared plus 8x, or I'm sorry, plus 5x minus 4. Now for the second part of this question, they want to tell you that the complete area is actually 10 square yards. And with knowing that, we now can take the 10 square yards and put that in for the area. And then they want us to solve for x and then also give the complete dimensions of the shape. So when we do that, we're going to take our standard format formula above for the area of that rectangle and set it equal to 10. Now to solve this, this is a review question from Algebra 2x. This is a quadratic, but before we solve a quadratic, we need to get everything on one side. Let's go ahead and subtract 10 from both sides, which is going to get us 6x squared plus 5x minus 14 equals 0. Now this is quadratic. You can solve it a variety of ways. We could try to factor it and see if it's factorable. If it's not, we could do quadratic formula. Now for this one, it actually should be factorable. If you try this, it's going to work out that we could do the multiples of 6 and 1. And then for 14, we are going to do a minus 7 times a positive 2, which is negative 14. And we need it to add to a positive 5x. And if we check this out, we're going to see this is a negative 7x. That's 12x, and that does add to 5x, which gets our middle term. So knowing that, we can now finish solving this. We're going to take the two factors and set them equal to 0 and solve. This is our first one, and then the next factor is going to be set equal to 0. For the one here, x plus 2 equals 0, when you solve it, you get x is negative 2. And then for the other one, if we solve it, we're going to add 7 and then divide by 6. X is going to be 7/6 on that one. Now, going back here, which answer seems reasonable for what x could be? If we put negative 2 back into this dimension, for example, it's going to be 2 times negative 2 minus 1 would be negative 5. It does not make sense that the width of this could be negative 5, so this is not a reasonable answer. The one that is going to work for us is going to be x of 7/6. So we do know that x is 7/6. Now, they do want us to find the dimensions for this one, so what we're going to do is let's take the 7/6, put it into here to get the final width, and 7/6 in here to get the final length. So as I do that, if I'm going to do the 2 times 7/6 minus 1, as a decimal, I'm going to actually just simplify that. It's going to be approximately 1.3 yards. And then for the other dimension is going to be the 3 times the 7/6, and then plus 4. And that actually gets us 4 yards. So we know that the dimension of this patio is going to end up being 1.3 yards by 4 yards, which ends us getting us approximately close to the 10 yards squared for its final area. Now be careful on this one. If you don't see the factoring, you could do quadratic formula to solve it. The one method you cannot use is you cannot try to isolate x through just basic algebra to get it by itself. Do not try to add 4 to both sides and get x together. It's not going to work. These are not like terms. This is an x squared and that's a single x. These two can never be combined into one term so you can isolate it and solve it. That's why your only options are going to either be factoring or quadratic formula.